Okay, back on to air conditioning for this ultra rare M1. So you've seen all my other videos. I think there's 5 or 6 of them now. I'm not even counting anymore. So I'm down to, with the vacuum pump running, this vacuum pump is off. This one's off, this one's open. We're open to the high and low side. With the vacuum pumping running, it's at 270. I really don't care what the vacuum loss is because I know there isn't no real vacuum loss. The outgassing that I'll get from the vacuum decay will be coming from my refrigerant hoses, because my refrigerant hoses are my weakest link at a vacuum decay test, because you do not perform vacuum decay tests to the refrigerant hoses. I made many videos, many videos on vacuum gauges and trying to achieve the lowest goal, and the whole goal of all those videos was to show you that it's basically impossible to get an ultra low vacuum and then hold it, because the actual material that refrigerant hoses are made out of was not meant for ultra low vacuum. You could get there, but you're not going to hold it. And so you cannot blame the gauges or the hoses or the fittings for your inability to pass a vacuum decay test. The only one you got to blame, you go look inside the mirror, and if you're trying to use refrigerant hoses and a vacuum gauge to pull a ultra low vacuum and hold it through a vacuum decay, your problem lies in the mirror. It's staring at you. That is your problem. You do not use for ultra low and trying to hold it, because that'll be all your losses up to a certain point, and you have to understand that. I have made videos in the past where I would just take this one hose, or I could do 2 because I have a splitter on stainless steel splitter for Y, and I could come off there with 2 hoses or 1 hose, and I could put 1 hose, say I put this vacuum hose, this silicone hose, not a rubber refrigerant hose, a silicone hose directly attached to the low side, and then attach a micron gauge here at the other side on the high side. The reading you get here is your true vacuum. And then to read the vacuum decay, you would not turn off the vacuum here, you would not turn off the vacuum here. You would disconnect, you would unscrew your low side, because you would not want to read the vacuum decay over here, because it would transfer all the way over from this hose here, would show up as a decay on your meter. If you put your micron meter, do I have it here? No, I don't. If I put my micron meter here, I would be reading this vacuum decay, not the system. So by unscrewing the low side and taking it out of the equation when you're finished with your vacuum, when it decays, you will only, and you would have it right here, you would only be reading the system. You would not be reading this one hose. You cannot have that in your circuit when you're performing a low micron vacuum decay test. So I'm gonna get this thing ready and hook up a bottle and a scale and get it ready to charge up, and I'll be back on the next video.